Hello and welcome to our live stream of Curse of Strahd as presented by For the Love of Crits. I'm level 1 Dungeon Master Hunter AU, and thank you again for joining us as we continue with our Lost Clerics of Barovia as we journey deeper into the valley. For maps, we are using Talespire, new early access program available on Steam. For music, I'm using Sirenscape, an online program lets us sync our music together and our audio so we can all enjoy the same soundscapes. In this world for Talespire maps, I'm using a mix of different sources online. Most common and most prevalent is Demon Goon, the creator of Talespire maps with a focus on Curse of Strahd. We're going to do a quick run through of our characters. We're just going to give kind of their name, class, and we're just going to kind of stick to name, class, kind of get right into the nitty gritty of roleplay, and then we're going to have Eloc give us a recap from last session. And with that, we are going to start with you, Conereth, for introductions.
Hi, I'm Cole, or Eloc. I am playing Conereth, who is a cleric, Twilight cleric of the Twilight Domain. Also dabbling on a little bit of Warlock.
Yes, they did level up in between last session and this session. There was a lot of emotional growth, as well as the game more used to Barovia. So we'll move on next. We'll go Graves, Herbert, and then Onyx as we're going.
Yeah, I'm Garion playing Graves, our good old Grave Domain cleric of the Lady of the Graves, but also now a little bit of a sneaky guy now, but picked up a little bit of rogue.
Hi, I'm Herbert. I'm playing Alex tonight. No, I'm Alex. I'm playing Herbert Lightforge, Forge cleric. Still a cleric through and through, but he took something interesting for his feat at level 4.
Nice.
Hmm.
Hey guys, I'm Josh. I am playing Onyx, our Warforged cleric slash fighter. I am a Tempest domain cleric. I did end up going another level of cleric, as he's seeing what his god can do. There have been some answers, and he's starting to grow in that respect.
And I want to preface a lot of my players, all my players are veteran DMs, so I kind of leave their own character creation up to them. They will come to me often with if I will allow certain things, but as far as the creation of their characters, how they want to run it, I leave it a lot up to them. So you will probably see a little bit of interesting combinations as they're kind of they're all very experienced, so they will build into their characters to there. So I'm interested to see what that new feat is. I'm sure it will be revealed to me in time. So that being said, we are going to continue as we always state. Content of Curse of Strahd, which was created by Wizards of the Coast, is notorious for being a campaign with very dark genres. This program is intended for mature audiences and uses adult language and themes. Therefore, viewer discretion is advised. We thank you all again for joining. We ask you keep the chat civil and keep the comments avoiding spoilers for any Wizards of the Coast adventures. We are going to go through a quick recap from Conereth, and please, for the love of crits, like, comment, and subscribe.
Conereth broods alone in a corner of the church, hunched over, staring at the floor. A candelabra against the walls flickers light across his back, casting a darkened shadow upon which he gazes. It moves and flows as though it possesses life itself. Selûne, path to all those who wander. Our Lady Silver, our Moon Maiden. Like the owls of the night, you... Shade? Shade, are you there? I'm so uncertain. I'm more uncertain than I've been since entering this accursed land, and that's a feat of its own. I've fallen to my anger again. It's brought about a most unexpected torture I was not prepared for. I'm still not prepared to deal with it. What was I to do? Werewolves? I was so desperate to save these boys. Those foul creatures could have been the ones to cause them harm. Every good thing in this land is cursed, and I grow ever increasingly certain that Selûne's light doesn't truly reach this land. Just some pale imitation. I'm just so tired. What? No, that's no excuse to... Well, it's true that my friends were in danger. Yes, I understand that I didn't know the werewolves we were fighting were the boys we were pursuing, but this rage, this reaction, saved us? That's not right. Okay, perhaps I've let out a side of me which at time has edged out victory, but can I really rely on this? You must have heard Herbert when he struck my face, knocking us to the ground. Brought about the death of this boy who only suffered from lycanthropy. And the others, Graves turning away, even Onyx was uncharacteristically soft. You're right, I didn't know. It's a tragedy for sure, but would the situation have been any better if I'd relented? And one of them killed one of us? Or what if we'd contracted the disease ourselves? You haven't let me down thus far, Strahd. You're the one thing I've been able to depend on since you saved my life in that accursed house of death. Perhaps it's time I listen to you. The others don't seem to understand this land the way you do. What must be done. And we still need to find those boys. There's so much left to do in this strange city. Even the city itself, much like everything else we've encountered thus far, holds secrets. How am I going to explain this to Yesek? What? So be it, Shade. Continue to lend me your strength, and we'll purge the darkness from this land before long. It will end with him, he who is the land. Selûne will understand. She casts her silvery pale light just outside this land, waiting to embrace me. For what would moonlight cast itself through, if not shadow?
When we last left our clerics, they were running through the forest, being hunted, werewolves on their heels. They came out upon the road on the shore of Lake Zarovich, its crystalline water reflecting the Baratok Mountains perfectly. They saw Bluto out on the water. He didn't seem to react as the party came in, intent upon his fishing pole, hoping for fish that would likely never come. Your party begins to journey down the winding road from Lake Zarovich to the town of Valaki. The dense forest on either side of the path gradually give way to rolling hills and fields of wildflowers. The crisp, cool air carries the sound of a babbling brook in the distance. It's unnoticeably beautiful, despite the tragedy that has happened. Looking in the distance, you can see the walled city over the crest of the hill. A few people between you and it along the road. And you realize that you are carrying one of their own among you. How do you proceed?
Hold on. Let's stop here for a minute, friends.
Should we hide the boy? the body.
I'm
I mean,
pretty sure
they're
one of you
going to.
guys already put a cloak over him. Like when we
Yes.
left the forest, I was
Oh, yes.
almost
I
certain
mean,
one
yeah.
of you guys had.
I think
I mean,
Yes.
it might be Graves' cloak, but I don't remember.
Yes, you guys did cover
Hmm.
the route.
yes.
I kind of was looking into it, and yes, you did. And either way, there's enough time has passed.
Yeah.
That's very like I'm
Yeah.
not going to be like, oh, you didn't say it. Yeah, it happened. So
I
Graves
mean,
will pause and be like, hold on a second, friends. He'll mutter a few words, not roll a natural one this time, and cast his remaining second level slot. He'll then look to him like, I think I have an idea, my friends. And you sense, well, Graves is a somewhat charismatic man. As he says that, he almost exudes an aura of confidence and likability that he doesn't normally have, as he casts Eagle Splendor from enhanced ability on himself.
okay.
I
Well,
think I may be able to let the gods let us through. I think I have an idea of how to do it. But I am open to other ideas as well, if any of you would prefer something else.
I mean, it's it's not large enough for us to claim that it's a werewolf corpse or something, but we could just claim that we found him plain in the woods, not reveal the body, and then hope they don't ask too many questions about the nature of their demise.
Yes.
But I think either way, we're going to have to talk our way through this. I mean, we could,
Yes.
unless somebody's got a pocket dimension. Uh,
No.
yeah,
What's what's the harm of telling the guards that we found the body?
I don't think
Besides
there's
That
any.
we're returning them.
I don't think there's any harm in that. But I'm not great with words. I would be afraid of saying the wrong thing, so I would leave it up to the confidence of our young Graves here.
Uh, can we, before we go as well, Graves would like to take a quick look of the child's body again, or recall whatever. See if, like, are there, like, any obvious, like, scars or markings from the fight or anything on the body, or does it just look like dead?
roll me a medicine check.
Oh, that's the wrong die. Do. That's a 19.
Would he have a
Okay.
bite mark from when he was turned?
So
Yeah,
that's
I see enough that I want you to
I-
make sure that I don't say
So,
something that
part of it-
contradicts the body.
yeah. So, okay. I was kind of looking through seeing if anyone else had ruled it. So the way that I will rule it is that because the skin, everything like that changes, because you're getting fur, they're increasing muscular and skeletal structure, things like that, that the scars of the werewolf are separate from the scars of the human form. So, and vice versa. So if you're scarred as a human, it doesn't carry over into werewolf.
So
Obviously, dismemberment would likely be a different
So he just
story.
looks dead, essentially, because radiant energy.
So he does look dead. He doesn't look like he has any markings. The only thing that you can see is that on his left shoulder there is four there's four puncture marks, two in the front, two in the back, on there. Otherwise, you're looking at him and you realize that there's not a blemish of dirt on him. It's almost like he was washed completely clean.
So it's not going to make sense if we found him in the woods, lying there or something.
Well, because there is known there's werewolves that way, and there are the bite marks. We can blame the werewolves.
Yes, we can. I would much prefer to let the guards believe that, but I mean, we should at least tell the father the truth before we bury
That's
him.
probably fair.
He must.
But
Someone
the
must know.
guards,
I don't trust the guards.
no. And why not blame it on a known danger?
It would make sense.
Yeah. Is everyone all right with this plan?
Kenneth remains unresponsive.
Do you think the guards acknowledge werewolves?
They at
But
least
they're-
must acknowledge that there are beasts in the woods.
Four puncture wounds do not equal a mortal blow.
Certainly not. I mean, I would love for them to explain why or how we would have done it, but because I'm sure they may not know what we're capable of, but
Yes.
still,
I think this
might
might be
be
our
enough.
best plan.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree. I think it's
Do
our best
we-
bet.
Yes. Do we want to all go to speak to the guards, or do we want only a couple of us to go and speak before we bring the body forward?
I think we should all go together because it would seem odd to sort of stagger our entrance, I think. It would be quite strange for us to split up and carry a suspicious burden.
All right.
Do we
That's
want
fair.
to add some dirt to the child? Maybe some leaves, grass in his hair?
You can see that Herbert sort of like is visually like sort of disgusted by the idea of interacting with the corpse like that, but he's like,
It would most
He stays
likely.
quiet.
It would potentially bring in way more suspicion of spells and the like. Which, being clerics, they could try and blame us if they believe it to be spells. That. And I am experienced enough in dead bodies that it wouldn't be too difficult.
On the walk back, Onyx has become his rigid self again, so he's
yeah.
thinking
Herbert
not the
is
way he saw him last time.
Yeah. Herbert is replying slowly to things, like where he would normally be very snappy and very quick and stuff like that. He takes a few seconds before he responds to anything, but he does speak.
There's no objections. I could do that fairly easily.
I can do it. I know this has been hard on you guys.
Whatever you wish, if you wish to.
And I will go about. I will
Making it look
probably
like
go
you're out
off
in the
the
woods.
road a bit so that they can have. So I'm away from their eyes while I,
Dress up the body.
yes,
I mean,
Make
Graves wouldn't
the-
care. The other ones.
Yeah.
make it appear that the child could have been found like this in the woods.
And with that, are we ready?
Come back. I think this will pass.
All right. Well, as we approach, follow my lead. And
How long does your eagle thing last?
1 hour
Okay.
or concentration.
As I had kind of mentioned, there were some people kind of between you and Velaki. And in the distance, you catch your first glimpse of Velaki town's nestled in a valley surrounded by high walls that glint in the sunlight. Smoke rises from the chimneys as it appears that people are starting to prepare their evening meals, as much time has passed since you had left in the beginning of the day. As you crest the rise in the road, you spot a Vistani man attempting to free a pack horse from a muddy bog on the side of the road. The man's colorful clothing and dark complexion identify him as a member of the wandering Vistani tribe that you've met before, known to roam the land and trade with locals. His colorful clothing is now covered with mud near the edges on the edges closest to his feet. As he sees you approaching, he raises his hand and he shouts, "Oh, traveler, please, please!" And he kind of gestures at the horse, making his plight very obvious as to what is going to strike. He's like, "My horse, it is wolves' feed at this point. Please, can you assist?"
I suppose we could spare a moment. Herbert will just walk over and start trying to help.
Say, if it's all of us, it should only take just a moment.
Yes, let's see. He's going to kind of pull on there. As you all kind of work together, the horse begins to slowly move out of the muck. It kind of sounds like a plunger pulling out of water as it slowly gets its feet up. You can see that it has a dark coat. And he's like, there we go, Shadow. And he begins to pat it down as it pulls up onto the road. For that, he's like, thank you, my friends. I hit that unexpected bog there on my way back to the road. I was worried I'd have to ask the guards for assistance. But, please, Tarek, at your service. And he gives a deep bow, that brings his face close to his knees with how deep it is.
Well, you are quite courteous, my friend. My name is Herbert Lightforge. These are my companions, and I'll gesture to Graves.
Graves. Pleased to meet you.
Oh, and that's Conereth in the back, and Onyx is,
There.
he's chilling.
I just nod my head, but I'm trying to stay behind them.
Because you're carrying a body.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
He kind of he glances among you. He obviously lingers a bit more on Onyx just because of the different look, and he's like, "You are not Barovian?" Kind of looking at different groups of the party.
No, I'm from Waterdeep.
Oh,
I'm
yes,
from-
yes. My cousin has been there.
Yes. Many
Love
of us
to go
come
back.
from... Sorry.
Sorry?
Yeah, no. I'd love to go back someday.
Perhaps.
Who knows? If that will ever happen.
Who knows? You might be able to find a way. I know that my cousin, some of the Vistani that he has held with, they have some type of potion that lets them be able to travel in and out of the mist. But perhaps if you ever are near one of our camps, you can meet with them. I mostly wander between the camps, so I enjoy my life here. Unlike most.
That's
Wow.
very good information to know. Graves will kind of start looking around and like, I don't want to just tell him off, but we gotta go.
Yeah.
Please walk with me. And he begins guiding the horse, and he's like, I assume you're going to Valaki?
Yes, I will warn you, my friend, you probably don't want to be with our group when we reach there. We have sensitive issue to speak with the gods about.
Oh, yes, I do not want to be there during that. The guards do not like my people.
Yes.
Very much would like to avoid it. Um, I've already indisposed you quite a bit as you were traveling to Valaki. May I be able to perhaps request another favor of you if I am not to be with you when you arrive with the guards?
If we're capable, I suppose we could help.
Yes,
I don't know if we can.
Sorry again.
Well, I don't think it would. I don't think we can make any promises, but we do like to help.
As I said, I travel between the different Vistani camps, whether it be Serpool or the one outside of Valaki. With that being said, I'm often asked to deliver goods. And he kind of gestures at the pack horse, which is laden with a number of different packages and things like that. He's like, the most recent of which was this, and he's going to grab a what looks like a rug off of there, look like almost like a carpet. On there, it's probably about 4 feet wide, rolled in a tube. He's like, this was ordered by Blinksy. He's a toy maker in Valaki. Have you met him?
Not yet, though I have been meaning to meet with him. We just haven't had enough time.
Yes. Well, I like to avoid entering the city at all cost anyway. So, if you could, take this to him, he is paying upon delivery. And I can try to collect the money from you at some point, but obviously I would let you keep some as well.
You're a very trusting man, sir.
Life's too short to not be trusting, isn't it, right?
And what was your name again?
My name's Tarek, at your service. And Onyx, correct?
Correct. So you just want us to deliver this rug, and you will meet up with us whenever?
As I said, I'm traveling along the road. You could probably find me at the Velaki camp often. That's usually where I will rest. In fact, in a few days' time, it's my one of my family members' birthdays, Arabelle.
Arabelle? Oh.
Yes.
Sounded familiar for a second.
That's what I thought too.
Yes, Arabelle. She is she is turning, I believe, 17. So becoming a woman. It's a important day for her. And with her being my niece, I wanted to get her something. If Blinksy happens to have he is a toy owner, of course, so she still enjoys the occasional doll, things like that. Perhaps he has something, and I will cover the full cost of it and pay you a delivery fee. I am not a poor man. I am very successful in my trading. And he kind of like his shoulders kind of go up. He's kind of proud of himself with that.
Graves is kind of looking like, I mean, yeah, why not? As he's also like pulling out his censer, adding in incense and beginning to light it.
Just because I have no idea where our travels will take us, would it be okay if we just made arrangements to leave the money from the rug at the church?
Ooh, the church? Like St. Andrew's, you mean?
Well, he can't get inside the city. He wouldn't be able to collect.
Well, it's not even that. I just don't like the church. No offense, my men of the cloth. And he kind of looks at you like, as like alarmed that he may have offended you. He's like, the Vistani people and the different religions do not always have the most safe track record, if I can say the least.
Oh.
I can see where it might be difficult for someone who is so strict and orderly to accept the lifestyle of
perhaps you could leave it with the Martikov family.
The Martikov family?
Yes, they run the Blue Water Inn. We often trade wine with them, so we are very familiar with their people, and they often work with us in the Vistani camps. he's an honest man, honest as you can,
I think we met him this
as
morning.
you
We
can
did.
go.
Yes, this morning, in fact.
Yes, the probably you met the patron, um,
Ah,
father that his name is escaping me at the moment. Um, let's see. Um, oof.
And do you
Like,
want us to get the doll for you with the gold from the rug and leave the doll at the Blue Water Inn for you?
If you find one, Blinksy is a very busy man, so he may have something, he may not. If if I don't hear from you in a day or two time, I have other things that I can perhaps give as a gift. But Blinksy's toys are very famous throughout the lands of Barovia. I think that she would be very pleased with one of his creations. You know what they say? It's no fun, it's no Blinksy.
well, I guess we know now.
Uh,
No fun, it's no Blinksy. Well, and when is this birthday again? This party?
Um, it's in 2 days' time.
Okay, well. I mean, I suppose if he has something, we can look around. Where is it exactly? The Sarah Pools, you said?
Oh, no, 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 no. It's um, it is the Vistani camp that is
nearby.
nearby the town of Valaki.
Someone will be able to point
Um,
us there without much difficulty, I imagine.
Yes. But
all right.
yes, if you speak to the patron of the Martikov family, or anyone, in fact, I know he has a son and daughter as well as his wife. They are honest people, and they will do right by you. Um, they are not greedy. Um, they will keep it for us because we scratch their back, they scratch ours.
Right?
Um, you wouldn't happen to know anything about the red wine situation?
Oh, the Wizard of Wines.
Oh, the Wizard of Wines, yes.
Yes, yes. I haven't been there. I don't often travel to Kresk, so there's no reason for me to pass by the Wizard of Wines. Most of the wine that we get, we either make ourselves on our barreled wagons, or we gather it from elsewhere and we bring it in. But we oftentimes, when we're trading wine, it's mostly in small amounts because we deal more in specialty wine. And to be honest, we Vistani, we like our wine. There's not usually much left.
Understandable. Understandable. How close are we to Valaki at this point?
You're
Okay.
probably about 200 yards. Um,
And it's
so,
been less than an hour, I'm assuming?
oh yeah, that's one of the reasons I asked. I was like, if it lasts 10 minutes, then I would
Yeah.
like
Hmm.
be like just kind of let you know beforehand.
Yeah. Fuck you, waste your spell slot.
Exactly,
You
especially
did
with
it
it
too
being a
early.
spell slot. It wasn't like a thing. He's like, well,
I got two more.
is game to the evening. If I'm able to avoid entering the town walls, it would be of great joy to me. I will travel along the outside and to the Valaki camp. Hopefully, no bogs along the way.
Steer clear of the bogs.
Yes, safe travels.
If we find a doll, then perhaps we'll just take your payment with us and we'll meet you at the party.
I shall keep a wineskin cold for you.
Well, you're very kind.
He's going to and with that he's actually going to pull out a wineskin and kind of hold it up, and he's going to just drink it. He doesn't have business to do anymore, so now it's time for him to prepare for resting. As he walks and he begins kind of whistling a tune as he's passing around the edge of Valaki.
Alright. Well, time to deal with these gods. It might be a little bit helpful. Great has his sensor out. If we just look a little more like a procession or so, perhaps I'll be in front of you with my sensor. Then maybe Onyx, you carry the child behind me, and then Panarif and Herbert behind that. So we look a little more formal setting. It might help our cause. Couldn't hurt, I suppose.
Take my hat off. Fix my hair. Look a little bit more formal.
All right. Well, here's to it. As Graves has his sensor in one hand and his holy symbol in the other as we now approach.
Nice. So, you guys have left the cheery continents of Tarek in your wake, and as you draw closer to the town, the light and the ground and the scene in general takes a more foreboding tone. Going to move the map over to Valaki really quick. Went to summon you guys, but I don't know if it went through.
Yeah, now it's loading.
There we go. Okay.
Currently don't seem to have a token though.
Oh, yeah, you probably don't because we were last out the Lake Zarovich map. I'm making sure that I'm putting you at the correct
Wait,
gate.
I believe it's this one here, I assume.
Yep. There we go. Alright, so as you approach, as you draw closer, the scene takes a more foreboding tone. The once inviting and picturesque town of Valaki is now shrouded in an air of unease, and the guard staring at you as you approach, looking at you, gives you a sense that they have been awaiting your return, whether that be to question you or for another purpose you do not know. Halt there.
Hello, my good man.
You four. And he looks, he's like, the guards this morning mentioned that four adventurers were going out. What? He kind of looks over to the other one. He's like, Thomas, what was it he said? And the guard on the left side, here it's hard to tell because he's wearing the full face mask. But when he speaks, he sounds much younger than the initial guard. The spoke, and he's like, said they were looking for the orphans.
Yes, might is right, my good man.
You get the sense that the first guard that spoke was the more senior of the two. As you're speaking, he's like,
Grace will look back to
any
towards
luck?
that guy. Yes and no, unfortunately. We did manage to find one of the young boys. However, we were too late to save him from, we believe, the werewolves. Possibly a regular wolf.
The two guards look at each other. You can see their eyes behind their mask, kind of glancing at you. The younger one, shifts uneasily.
Knowing,
the... Oh, God.
say, knowing from our travels the dangers that lurk in this land, such as the vile things that the devil himself can do. And from my own travels before this, knowing the vile rituals that the lycanthropes will often perform over dead bodies, we decided it would be most both respectful and safest for everyone, especially those in the outlying farms, if we were to bring the body back and give it a proper burial and ceremony to cleanse any
Now,
evil.
hold on there. I'm not going to have you bring in a werewolf into the town. I wouldn't
Werewolves,
be...
it is not a werewolf, it is dead.
Oh,
It is not a
like,
zombie. Those are entirely different things, my friend.
I don't know, but I don't know you either. I'm sorry, I have to protect the citizens of this town.
I'm sorry. Do you want an incident like that in Barovia? Let me tell you, there was nasty business there.
What do you
Injustice
mean?
and problem.
Barovia is a shithole. Vallaki,
Yes.
we're protected by walls. All will be well in the walls of Vallaki. And
Yes,
I'm
but
not
there
going to
are
bring
farms.
this in until I check to make sure that it's going to be safe for the people of Vallaki.
Oh, of
If you
course.
don't
I would
like that,
never
you can
imagine.
sleep out here.
No, I would never dream of bringing something in that were dangerous, my friend. It is my job to, as a
Let me
cleric.
see the boy.
Of course, of course. Here we are, right here. You see,
Um,
werewolves are not ones that can return from death. And as a cleric of the Lady of the Graves, it is my job to make sure that souls are properly put to rest.
I don't know about all that. We'll have to... Maybe we'll be able to get the father out here. I
Oh yes, the father is a good man,
I
of course.
I must follow my orders, and in this instance, I couldn't in good conscience let you into the town without verifying with someone of our own that is able to say that this is in fact safe.
That
We've
is
had too
reasonable.
many... We
You
have
have?
too many attempts of the servants of Strahd trying to
No,
break in.
that is reasonable. However, my friend, don't you say that no evil Strahd cannot get into the walls. So, if this is not safe, should it not be able to get into the walls? I sense a
Yes,
little bit of disbelief in you. And you wouldn't want that getting back to your superiors, would you?
I trust the Baron, and I am loyal to the
So
Baron.
therefore, you should believe that if this is unsafe, it could not enter the walls.
Yes, which
Strahd
is
cannot
why
enter the
I'm
walls.
stopping you.
I don't think
Roll
you're
me
lucky.
a persuasion check.
Not deception, because I am lying at my teeth here.
Oh, well, you don't believe it's unsafe.
No,
You don't believe it's unsafe to be going into there. You just need to
I mean
convince
on
this
that
guy.
specifically. My persuasion is
Um,
still not bad. I have advantage.
Who among you is this expert in
Well,
werewolves?
that is a that's gonna be a
17.
21.
Ooh, nice.
Okay, so 21. Um,
Also, I sent you a message real quick, Rena, that might be relevant.
thank
while
you.
you're doing that.
Yes, you are correct. So,
All right, because I didn't do anything to that, so that's up to you what you want to do with that. But
so you rolled a 21, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so he's like, I believe you. I believe that what you are saying is correct. But if something happened, I I can't risk the lives of the women and children that are in my town on the word of someone that I've never met before. As far
If,
as your
if you wish,
question as to who's an expert, I would probably fall on the good graces of Father Petrovich to assist, but I would have to attest that you would stay outside of the town while I have someone fetch him.
Well, that is fair.
Yeah.
I have
I
good
was
faith in the father.
I would have
You?
suggested the same person, so
Yes.
I think
We are
Yes.
content to wait here for you to fetch the father. It
Okay.
is not quite dark yet, so we have the time for that.
Yes, he's going to pull out a small wooden whistle from underneath his tunic, and he's going to do two short blasts on the whistle. Um, Further off in the city, you hear two short blasts uh return in the distance. He's like, they should be here in a minute.
Right. Would you have us wait right here, or would you prefer us to move off the path slightly just in case others wish to come back into town? Just what's most convenient for you.
No, right there is fine. Let me look at the child though and if you can set him down.
Yes, yes. Onyx?
Lay him carefully down on the ground.
Ah, yes, I remember this boy. What was his name?
We
Thomas.
learned the three names of them, but we did not know which one this was.
Yes, he's going to Thomas is going to walk down and he's like, this one's Hans. It is one of the three orphan boys that went missing a day ago.
So the two that remain missing are Franz and Laszlo, correct?
Correct.
Well, hopefully they don't meet the same fate.
Yes. I wish I could say that you'd put the family at ease, but unfortunately, there was no family.
Yes. It is a tragedy. It seems so
Um,
there's many tragedies in life, unfortunately.
a third guard kind of walks forward. When he sees you guys, he kind of quickens his pace to get to. And he's like, "You whistled for me, Aldrich." Aldrich, the older gentleman that you've been speaking with, he's like, "Yes, they found one of the orphan boys. Get Father Petrovich. I think it'd be best for him to examine him and be quick about it. It's starting to get dark and we want to close the gates."
Yes.
He begins the guard runs deeper into the city. Um Everyone's kind of sitting there. Is there anything else that you kind of say to the guard while he's kind of examining the boy?
And
I think
Graves will...
Herbert's. Go ahead.
You go.
No. I was just gonna say, Herbert is probably just trying to distract himself from this whole situation, really. So he's sketching diagrams while looking around in the sky.
Mm.
Graves is making it... I mean, he already knows the degree of this, but definitely making it look as though he's kind of doing like prayers and partial rites over the child. Not like burial rites quite yet, but
So the guard is kind of looking over um the body of the boy. And you can see that he kind of pauses when he gets near the neck. He's like, I see what you mean with the beast. Hmm. He kind of you can see he places his hand like upon the chest, and it looks like he's like measuring like the hand widths for how deep it was into there. He's like, it's too close to the edge of the body for me to determine if this was a wolf or something bigger. It could have been something as small as a dog, but not much damage though. Not even seeing any blood. Did you clean him?
a little bit of basic for respects, but not enough to do too much out in the forest.
And he was found like this?
Yes.
Roll me a deception check.
Oh, what, me?
I did say
You're the
yes.
one that
Yeah.
answered. Oh,
He,
I
he
didn't hear
Yeah,
Graves.
I did
I-
say I was
I
quiet.
don't
Oh,
think
I
you'd
didn't
make
hear
it good.
Graves.
I don't think
Okay,
you'd
I
make
didn't
it
hear Graves say it, so it was the first person that said it that I was going to have to
Alright.
roll the deception.
Yeah, Herbert's not trying to take part in the conversation. Just trying to fill.
That is still a 15.
A 15?
Yep.
Okay. You know,
That was with advantage, right?
Yep.
yes.
Okay. Sorry.
He's kind of, he's like, I'm not seeing any broken bones or anything. Usually when a wolf attacks, it grabs on and shakes it around like a woman trying to break a chicken's neck.
Yes, that is what I had noticed as well, hence my suspicion of the werewolves instead.
Hmm.
Maybe they didn't have enough time, as we did get. We found the wolves and chased them off.
You saw the wolves?
We did.
And they just ran away.
Oh no. We tried to swing at them. And then we saw the boy, so we grabbed the boy and ran out of the woods while we heard howls closing in.
Can you roll me a deception check on that?
Is that a deception, though?
You said that you kind of battered away and then you saw the boy, grabbed him, and ran. So
We did. We fought the wolves. They ran.
kind of, it's technically the truth, but the way that you're presenting it is to be deceptive.
It is. There is an omission.
Yeah, you're kind of stretching the timeline to the point of breaking. Like
An idea
just
for
to be
a
honest.
catch if we need it.
I could have just stayed silent. Not gonna be good, guys.
Graves has a possible catch if we need it, so.
Well, you could, if you add something,
Yeah.
maybe he gets advantage or something. You know.
Oh, my catch is kind of like try to.
It's a bit
Oh,
weird.
he lied about this, not that.
Oh, I gotcha.
Okay, so a 7, he's like, so you attacked the wolves. Were they trying to eat the boy? Were they attacking
Truthfully, we weren't as glorious fighters as my friend would have you believe, but I think my suspicion, I think Herbert was believing as well. Perhaps it was an attempt at a transformation that the boy did not survive.
Are you rolling another deception?
No, I was trying to
Or-
clear the die.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
God, it was like the exact same roll. That's
Yeah,
why I was
I was like-
confused.
I thought I just had stayed up, and I was like, "That's there for a long time."
So he's continuing to look, and he's like, how long ago did he die? He's still slightly warm.
Well, we came right here, so I can't imagine more than an hour or two.
And you say you haven't seen him transform?
No, not to my knowledge.
He kind of looks nervously up at the sky. He's like, not liking it getting dark.
That part is a myth. The werewolves do transform at the moon, but they can transform at other times as well.
I guess my
That
question is if he has
doesn't
no
really-
pulse.
Pulse? Like,
Yeah, if he has no pulse, can he transform?
I don't know, but I
That
don't
is the
want to risk it.
That is the undead. that can still do that. The werewolves are not. They are purely living beings. If they are dead, they are dead.
I don't know. This is dark, dark magic. And he kind of he wipes like the front of his tunic as if he's like dust clearing dust off of himself.
Yes,
He's like,
best hope the father is here quickly then, so we can get the right rituals and purifications in place, just in case. But I doubt anything would happen if we bury him properly.
yes.
Is it starting to get dark out here? Like, is it like dim or?
You can tell like that if there was a sun, it would be starting to set. So it is definitely darker. Let me.
I will cast light on my like breastplate and just glow like a torch. Just provide light around me.
Sorry, one moment. I'm trying to. I didn't save Father Petrovich as a unique token, so I don't remember what his token was.
He was like an old elven dude.
He's like a priestly dude.
I don't think he was that ripped. But
wasn't that one, but it works.
Yeah,
well, that was the druid we fought.
Yep.
It'll work.
Okay.
That's
So
crazy, dude.
That's a wizard, so okay. So Father Petrovich comes with the other guard. He is in his vestments. He is upon seeing that it's you three, or you four, he's going to kind of lighten up and he's going to run and he's going to be like, what has happened?
Unfortunately, Father, we found one of the boys, but he is no longer with us. We are wishing to bring him in and give him a proper burial, make sure everything is all right. But the guards insist that you come check him out first, as we are not from Balaki.
Yes. He kind of looks between the two. He's like, Aldrich, Thomas, these four I can vouch for, but what was it that you don't usually hold up travelers? What was it that caused the holdup? Aldrich's going to kind of be crouching. He's like, it's the boy, Father. Look, he was bitten. These adventurers state that it was a werewolf. I'm afraid to bring a werewolf infected person in here. I mean, what would happen if it transforms in the middle of the town? All safety, regardless of Strahd's minions, would be out the window.
Yes. As I say, but they wish for your confirmation, Father, that werewolves once dead are dead. Unlike the undead.
He is right, Aldrich. That is the case. Let me examine the boy, to be sure that he is truly dead. I trust my companions, but
yes,
to put your mind at ease, I will do so. And he is.
Although I'll kind of like point him to the bites and there. Be like, hey, you are.
He is also going to be, kind of looking over, and you can hear, you can kind of hear him talking under his breath, prayers. He also pauses at the puncture marks, and he's like, as sad as it is to say, this boy will not rise again as a werewolf, but we must do the proper burial to ensure that something else will not happen. Aldrich nods, and he's like, I understand, Father. I will have to report this to Isaac. And Father nods. He's like, I understand. You do what you must do, but I will guide these four. They are staying at St. Andrew's. So, but they are holy men, and they are safe to enter the town. You have my word, and you have my word and my honor upon that. Aldrich kind of nods, and he's like, very well. Looks like these are the last four. We'll close up the gates behind you.
You're a diligent man.
Thank you for your understanding. I'm not sure if any of you have your own homes to protect, but me and Thomas, we take it very seriously.
Oh yes, that is a good thing.
Herbert is thinking about the fact that he knows where he's coming from, but he doesn't want to pipe up and say anything.
Graves is just trying to make sure they like us, even though Graves don't like them. Yes, that is understand. Certainly a good, noble cause, my friend. I do wish you a good rest of your night. And
Okay, so, nothing really eventful happens between here and St. Andrews. I'm going to just move us over to the St. Andrews map, rather than trying to move everything around.
sounds good.
For that, so
I'll try and let other people talk more now because the Graves ended up being the most talk.
you were kind of the face of the group in that
Yeah,
instance.
I was the
So
intent,
Exactly,
yeah.
but now I want to
Uh,
let other people have
well,
a little
especially
time to
because
talk.
when someone spoke up, I was like deception check, and they were like, "Oh gosh."
I said one word, and I was like,
It's like, but I said first that I have a +6 and advantage.
yeah.
Let me do it.
Yeah, that one I didn't hear you, so that was my bad.
Yeah, I was wondering if you heard me too because it was pretty quiet, and then you were still standing there, and I was like, I don't know if you heard me or not.
Yeah, I don't
It's
think
like
the mic
deception.
queued up.
Yeah, I probably spoke too quietly for Crisp got rid of me.
Yeah, Crisp thought you were a
Oh.
TikTok video or something. Might this be an appropriate place for a buyout break?
Yeah, I was wondering the same.
Yeah, we could certainly take a bio break. I'd want to keep it to the 5. Hello and welcome back to Curse of Strahd as presented by For the Love of Crits. We had a few questions pertinent to one of the players that came up, so we had to run a few minutes over for our bio break. During that, one of the questions that came up is that Graves wanted to roll an insight check on Thomas, the younger guard, to see if he was someone that they might be able to trust or trick or use to their advantage in some way. Unfortunately, due to the mask and the lack of speaking, he was not able to gain any insight on what was happening. He knows that he was young and that he was a guard.
And his name is Thomas.
Yes. So, not too much new information learned there for it. So, Father Petrovich leads you into St. Andrew's Church. Turning to the left immediately into it, he kind of seems like a man on a mission. He isn't really saying much. And he kind of waves you in to there. He's like, come. Once all four of you are in there, in the room, he closes the door behind you. I'm going to move Panerath in there really quick. He kind of closes the door and he's like, I need to know what happened. I searched that boy. Yes, he was bit, but that's not what killed him.
Graves will look over to the others and
I think we should tell him.
suddenly.
Tell me what.
We did, in fact, fight the werewolf.
Also, I just want to say that shadow on this wall here is like super cool. I don't know if you guys have that same shadow.
The top hat.
Like- so, sorry. What were you saying?
We did fight the werewolves, and we were fighting for our lives.
How many?
There were 3.
And you survived.
Barely.
Yes.
That is
I
good.
used a lot of defensive
No,
magic.
no one was bit.
Not as far as I could tell. I'll look around to everyone else. Like, I didn't
I think
really.
more.
Have
Nobody
everyone
reported.
roll me a deception check if they
I'm-
are trying to hide it.
I didn't get bit at all.
I want to say that Conereth has been like checked out from the beginning, so there's no deception from Conereth. I can still roll that if you want, but like Conereth basically
just
really hasn't been
a
paying
flat.
attention this entire time,
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
shocked still.
I mean, do we
So-
see a wound on Conereth that looks like a bite mark? Like,
Roll me either a perception check, like looking at him, or a history check to remember what happened during the battle.
I think
And-
Graves will probably be like,
I would like a history check because I think
I am
I
not.
remember somebody besides myself getting bit.
I mean, I as a player remember someone getting bit.
I don't
but I think
remember.
Herbert.
I, as Garian, don't remember. I'm just gonna say that Graves was too focused on his magic going funky, and he's like, I genuinely don't know. I know people were injured.
Alright, so
1 second. I'm gonna roll, but yeah, I forgot to load up the API.
you would see on the inside of Conereth's leg, it is covered in blood.
Bit.
Hades.
Like Herbert like sees that and remembers, and he's like, he's been distracted this whole time, and he just basically now remembers. He's like, that's not good.
Oh, yes. Graves will kind of notice
Yes,
Herbert's face, like, possibly then.
We will take responsibility for this.
Onyx is just like, yeah, I was bit twice.
I don't think it works on him.
God, I don't believe
You were bit
Beauty
twice?
Yeah, right here and here.
I agree with Herbert. I don't know if you are affected or not. Do you feel any different?
No, I feel fine.
Okay. Well,
If you want, you
And
can
then-
lock me in a room. I understand the hesitancy and the
yes,
why you guys would be scared of me. I mean,
yes. I chained
I'd be
myself
scared of
to
me
a
anyways,
tree
but
one point after there was a scare similar to that a while back.
why not? I get some alone time.
Is a worst case scenario, you sit in a room alone for the night.
you see, and I do want to clarify, this was something that had been brought up during our session 0. However, because of spoilers, things like that, I wasn't talking specifics at that time. So in this particular instance, 5e rules is written, you can remove lycanthropy with a 3rd level remove curse spell.
Yes.
Now, because we're all 4 clerics, you guys have no shortage of 3rd level remove curse spells.
We don't have
Um,
third
next
level.
we
level.
don't have third level yet.
Okay, you will not, like in the future,
Yes.
you won't.
Yeah, in the future, yes.
So with that being said, the cure to lycanthropy in this campaign is not as simple as just getting a spell slot.
Which is way better. Way cooler. To do it this way, not the just remove curse way. Kind of lame.
So this was something we kind of talked about because when a party has a curse or something added on there, typically it is a much more of an issue. With us having 4 clerics, it's very easy for you to be able to work up to the resources to be able to just make it a non-issue. So in order to keep the tension there, I have kind of brewed that in.
Fair. Yeah, definitely.
So that being said, Father Petrovich, he would voice that he does not know how to cure lycanthropy.
Ooh, well, um, I'm at a bit of a loss for words because it's kind of almost ironic that I suppose he would be the one at risk, considering his powers are so effective against such creatures.
But continue your story. Luckily, he has time before he is fully affected. It is the we still keep track of the lunar cycle even if we cannot see it. And he still has at least 2 weeks before the next lunar cycle.
At this point, are we talking about Onyx or Conera?
I guess
I
we
mean,
will have to see with you if you are affected. Conereth, I am sorry, but you will likely be affected by this. If you need to talk, I am here. And he kind of pats Conereth's shoulder.
Wait,
But
Kunerith got bit?
Blood.
yeah, I thought
Okay,
Grave
you
said,
were.
or
Yeah.
we did sort of, well, yeah, I mean, I'd
Yeah,
said,
to be fair, you were
you
on
know,
like
just
the other
cursed.
side of the battle, getting taking a lot of attacks.
I was getting
so you
bit.
were, yeah,
your
you were,
back,
you were
your back was
distracted.
to him.
You were distracted, very understandably.
If we cut off Kunerith's leg, will that help?
Ooh, I don't believe that amputation helps.
It would
Um,
have, it might have helped, like, if it was, like, seconds after it happened. I know a bit about biology, but not much. I know that blood circulates in the body.
So it would have been very immediate.
My
Yeah.
blood definitely would have circulated way too much at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Because when you saw the kid, the color drained from your face, so I'm not sure the blood got that high.
but what happened? So you were fighting the 3 werewolves.
We were driving them off. Few of them, well, one of them had fled, and, you know, things were getting desperate. People were injured. They were fighting for their lives, and Conera called down some magic that struck the beast down, but he
You-
Herbert can't talk about it.
It seemed to revert the lycanthrope to its original form.
I had heard that certain powers could do that. I am a scholar. I am not one to go out and fight beasts, so I have not experimented with it.
I was not until recently, but
I don't.
it seems that it does work, and
So it reverted the beast back. And
It would be no different than if we cut off its head while fighting. We fought a beast that was attacking us, and unfortunately, the beast turned out to be one of the kids.
that is the thing.
That's exactly what happened, yes.
oh my. I can understand why you did not tell the guards the full story. I don't believe that they would have reacted lightly, and you likely would not be sleeping in St. Andrew's tonight.
No.
Likely would be in the guard's house or in the jail.
I would have sooner not returned to the town at all than have that option. So we
So
did believe that we would be able to not
2
have to.
werewolves escaped then?
And more.
Yes, we heard more.
So the pack will know about this, that you've killed one of their own.
Yep.
That is probably the worst part.
Hmm. I cannot provide my counsel in this area. I feel for you that this tragedy happened to your party. But I am also afraid that with this tragedy, it brings grave enemies.
Yes.
But I think that you have shown that you are strong enough to fight them off some.
Little bit.
Could use some extra help.
Yeah. We have options. I have plans, countermeasures.
I have a bit of an idea as well.
I can silver all of our weapons at the very least.
Excellent.
Yes, if you need any assistance, I would recommend um meeting. Oh gosh.
I heard
Black-
you pause. I'm
Is
getting my
there a
weapon
black?
ready.
I would recommend that you reach out to Rowley. He's the blacksmith in town. It's over by the bookstore and the stables, the cart and wheel.
I think that would be a good stop tomorrow. So, Onyx,
Yes.
did you say, are you still injured then? Looking over Onyx as he said he could use some help. I have one spell left if you want some healing.
I meant help to defeat the creatures if they attack again.
That too, yes.
I was thinking along the silvering, like
Yes.
Herbert. I want to be better prepared next time.
Yes, I have countermeasures. I'm working on things, cooking ideas. Been studying this arcane book here, and I've gleaned some things. I've noticed some similarities that I think I can work with. But we were a little unprepared. I'll say that. We were rushed because we felt urgency in the matter as they just disappeared the day before. So,
So what are we gonna do with Conera? Are we locking him in a room?
well,
Father Petrovich, because
it's,
like I said,
2 weeks.
quite a bit. Yes.
We're locking him in there for 2 weeks?
No.
Don't have to worry
Please.
about it for 2 weeks.
He'll turn at the cycle of the moon. When
What
it's
that
full,
means.
yes.
Okay.
But that does mean we need to find how to cure or stop this within 2 weeks.
Okay.
Well, we've only been here, what? Several days at this point? I
In
feel like
Valaki or Barovia as a whole?
Barovia as a whole.
Maybe a week?
That seems like a long time. At
But-
least feeling how time has moved recently.
The most time was probably spent traveling from Barovia to Valaki.
Well,
I think we've been here about 7 days.
I want you to go
In
to
Barovia itself.
Yeah. Roughly a week, be my guess. Hades?
I believe.
So, and I apologize for the noise. I'm not sure how loud this is. You hear a sudden noise coming from the front of the church as someone appears to be pounding on the front door.
It's not super loud at all.
I
can
barely
just
heard
make
it.
out.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So,
Should we?
Would that be Isaac, perhaps?
That would be reasonable.
Father Petrovich looks, he's like, let me get it. And he opens the door, and saying there is, in fact, Isaac, his reptilian, animalistic hand, clutching his weapon at his side. And he's like, "Oh, Father. Heard the adventurers found one of the orphans. There they are." Father Petrovich kind of stiffens. He's like, "What brings you on my doorstep, Isaac?" He's like, "Exactly what I said. The adventurers brought the orphans." curious that they found them so quickly when we weren't even able to find a scent of them, but shows that they're quite skilled in investigation. I was wondering if perhaps I could speak to them before they turn in for the evening.
Herbert is like rubbing his temple, and he's like visibly very tired of interacting with people. He's like, this has been so much. So he's like very much looking for an excuse to just leave the conversation. So if there's an opportunity, he's going to approach Graves with a question, and sort of quietly ask, like, "Do you have any extra incense? I would need a reasonable amount, maybe about, let's say, for just random purposes, 10 gold's worth."
Possibly. I've got a block of incense.
I mean, I don't know how expensive incense is,
I have no
a
idea.
block, but it sounds like if you have a huge amount of
It
it,
is-
I feel like,
It is worth 6 silver.
oh,
You need a lot of incense.
Not
I need
that
some
much.
expensive incense.
I unfortunately don't have that much on me.
All
I've
right,
stopped-
very well. Maybe we can source some in the morning, but I have some things that I need to work on. You know how I feel about this situation. Perhaps you can
Of course.
speak to them.
Hmm.
And he's going to try to retire to a private chamber wherever we can stay.
Sorry, what was that? I didn't hear the last part.
Herbert is going to try and retire for the evening, and let them have the conversation tonight. But he's got some things that he wants to work on, and so he's taken off.
As long as I can speak to most of you, that is acceptable.
Yes. I suppose.
But you won't escape forever.
Speak to is the key phrase when you're talking about talking to Canareth.
Well, I think Graves and I here are willing to talk. One of our
Yes,
party
we-
members was injured in our fight, and the other one is very tired.
He was injured in the fight. I was to understand that you had valiantly fought off the werewolves. Who was injured?
It was
Yes, Konerev took a claw to the thigh.
Is this safe, Father? And he looks to Father Petrovich, who kind of stiffens, and he's like, "Yes, the claws are not safe, or the claws are safe."
In terms of the curse, not in terms of blood and damage. These-
Isaac kind of looks, and he seems to accept Father's statement as it stands. For there. So he calls you out as you're coming.
Graves will go as far as the doorway, but he won't really go much farther than that.
I just come out to talk with him.
Okay.
Worst
let
person to
me-
have talking in an important situation, but I'm here.
I represent.
Is my
The
I assume
Lollipop
my evil
Guild.
hunter's probably gone around now, or is it still active? Do you imagine?
Sorry, what was that?
Do you think my Eagle Splender's probably gone now, or would it happen to be
It's
active still?
probably gone by now.
That's
at
what
this
I was
point.
probably thinking too, but I thought I'd ask just
Yeah.
in case.
I was thinking about casting on you before I left, but I was like, I don't want to cast a spell right in front of everybody.
Yeah,
So
that's kind of.
yeah.
Oh well.
So let me
Let's hope my
take a
rolls are
look
decent.
here.
Gonna be better than mine.
Not if you get a nat 20 and I get a 1.
I mean, that is true.
Just say agreed to everything that I do. Just give me 8 action.
Sorry, I'm pulling up some of my notes here.
Onyx, back me up.
I'd just make it worse.
There we go.
I am not proficient in deception.
Just agree with what I say.
My agreeing would be like, yeah, what he said. With this obviously like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
Um,
like it would just help reassure that we're lying.
okay.
Isn't Graves the only one that doesn't have a negative charisma?
Yeah, I got a
Might
negative
be.
one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rip.
So, he is going to hold him back. I saw you when you came into town. I was curious what brought you all in.
Seemed like a safer place than other areas.
Yes, and I strive to keep it that way.
That's good. Seems to be doing a fairly good job.
My men did not give you too much trouble from the sounds of it, but I wanted to follow up on their report.
Absolutely,
Of
my
course.
friend.
No, they did a fantastic job making
Yes.
sure this town stayed safe.
Yes, I agree. They're commendable.
In addition, I have an invitation for you.
Yes.
The Venerable Baron, Valakovich, has requested your audience tomorrow at lunch in his mansion. He would like to meet you all four of you, mind.
We've caught the Baron's attention already.
Yes, I do not know for what purpose, and it is not my place to speak to such.
Of course.
I, as would be interested in gaining some assistance with some of my own investigations. There has been word that perhaps there has been some grave robbing. It is not my strong suit to learn what is happening, and it started to happen before you four arrived in town. So you are the most clear of suspicion of anyone here.
Of course. That is
If
certainly. Sorry, I
I
didn't interrupt you.
do not have any leads. If you learn anything, please pass it on, so that we can find the culprit. People are getting scared that the dug-up graves are more than just someone digging into them and someone digging out.
Of course. As within my religion as well of Lady Pharasma, the proper burial and maintaining of graves and burials is very important. So this is one that would be of
Your motivations, I do not care. I only care about results.
all right.
And how do we get a hold of you if we come across the lead?
I am around. Tell any of my guards and they will find me quickly.
All right.
Good.
Where are the graves here in St. Andrews, or were they from a different part?
I'm sure that Father Petrovich would be the best to ask about it.
Okay.
He was the one that had reported it initially.
All right. We are already here with the father, so that is very, very easy for us to at least ask him about, certainly.
But come to the mansion at noon tomorrow. You should be honored. The Baron has set aside time, even though he is preparing for final preparation for the Festival of the Blazing Sun, which falls on the preceding day. or the
Oh.
succeeding, the day after.
Yes, busy time. That's very impressive then. Yes, okay, all right. Cool.
You sure there was nothing else of suspicion around the boy? You saw no sign of either of the other two, Laszlo or Franz?
Not in the area that we were.
We had found a camp where we assumed
Yes.
they had stayed prior, but it was a little ways off from where we found the boy. So who knows where the other two went?
And I would certainly be wary of that area as the werewolves are operating in that area, it seems.
Yes, that is what halted our search initially.
Yes.
We are strong enough to protect these walls, and we keep Strahd at bay with the Baron's guidance. But we are not so arrogant as to stride into his land, expecting to come out unscathed.
That is very wise, very wise.
But I am glad that you gave us some. It at least gives us knowledge as to what likely happened to the other two. They are likely part of the pack now, or dead.
Reasonable assumptions, I would agree.
But if you have any more information that you come upon, or remember, please let me know. And use discretion if you think it's sensitive.
Of
Certainly.
course.
Certainly.
Yeah. We will talk to any of your guards to get a hold of you if anything should come to the forefront of our brains.
Yes.
Good. And he will kind of walk away, going into the mist, and he's going to pull out a whistle as well, and he's going to give a really long blast followed by a two short blast, as he's going into the mist.
It did kind of cross my mind to insight check him, but I think Graves has just decided he doesn't trust him.
That's fair.
Onyx looks at Graves. Did good, huh?
Yes. Very good, my friend. That I believe was a very successful conversation.
Father Petrovich kind of walks out of his office, and he's like, "What did that butcher want?"
He seemed to believe the information we gave him, said to let him know anything else. Asked us to a couple of things. He said you had brought to his knowledge some information about some grave robbing. He asked if we would be able to give assistance in that, because it began before we were here, so we are clear of suspicion.
It began about 2-3 weeks before you had arrived. This bumbling buffoon he hasn't made any progress to my knowledge. I just don't want the graves desecrated. There's not really anything of value, so I don't know what they're after.
Yes.
But I don't really have much, and to be honest, it hasn't happened for quite some time.
Yes, he mentioned that as well as apparently the burgomaster has invited the four of us to lunch with him at noon. I am hesitant to not go, but I am also hesitant to go.
My brother-in-law has set aside his busy schedule for his new guest.
So I have a question. Why don't you like Isaac?
Isaac is the captain of His Excellency's guard,
Okay.
and therefore passes his judgment on with a iron-scaled fist. There is many times, such as when we were speaking of the cobbler, that no one knows where he went. Isaac is the one that carries out those things. and he follows without question the orders of the Baron. And when you have people following your orders without question, you just go deeper and deeper into depravity.
I get the sense, both from my own sense and from what it seems you are suggesting, quietly, of course, that there might be some darkness or corruption or shadiness, however you wish to speak, within the Baron or Burgomaster's house and dealings. And Isaac is a right-hand man, so to speak.
As I said, my sister, she's a devout follower of the Morning Lord. May he be blessed. But she has not come to services in quite some time, and I suspect my brother-in-law's involvement in keeping her from there. She holds tea parties, whatever good they may do. Most commoners, if they can get into it, they begrudgingly go for a hot drink. But not much uh, aside from that. I'm afraid that he has uh, taken the flower that was my sister and has shoved it in the shade of his falsehoods. I'm afraid to say that she is not quite what she used to be, as much as I would like her to be.
It is a shame indeed.
But we must get on with the burial.
Yes.
Are you both, for lack of a better way to say it, okay?
Yeah.
You
Fine.
seem, for you, Onyx, you seem a bit more loose, I guess. As if you have less weight upon your shoulders, while you, Graves, seem the opposite. You seem to be going through some turmoil.
Well, it's a dark land here, and many things happen, but we just have to keep going. Trying my best. It's hard, but I think many people would be suffering much more than I in this circumstance. It's just, it's sad. That's really all. Wish I could have done more.
Understandable.
Notice
We
that.
usually
Right.
keep one or two graves, already dug up. I can put this one to rest. You both should get some rest, for your physical as well as your emotional, uh, exhaustion.
One final question then, Father. I
Yes, my son.
assume, with this invitation from your brother-in-law, I assume that it would be a poor idea to decline.
Exceptionally. He
So we
is
shall
easy to
decline.
take offense,
And we do not want that, but
and
I
he
think,
has quite a bit of power in Valaki.
yes. So we should do our best to be on guard, but to try to not offend him either.
Yes. Those who are barred from the city of Valaki, it is difficult to live. Except the Vestani seem to be outside of the norm. But when you are traveling between the cities and you have nowhere that you can call home, the land and its dangers will wear on you. It's good to have somewhere safe that you can come back to. It's best to keep every bridge intact until you are sure that you do not need to cross back over the river.
Good way to think of it. Well, that is all from me. Sorry. If you had anything else, Onyx, go ahead. I will retire now myself.
No, I am all set.
Herbert and Conerith. Oh, sorry, were you saying that something, Onyx?
I was gonna say, I'm not sure how I am not going to offend him.
It's okay. You will offend him.
I
I'm sorry to say.
I don't eat.
Just don't.
And more than necessary.
He invited me to eat, and I don't eat.
Yes. I would play it by ear. I'm not sure. But I mean,
You could
any
throw him with his,
reasonable person would not be able to be offended at you. But in this case, he is not a reasonable person. So I'm sorry that I can't offer more counsel than that. Um, I would tell him that it is not a desire not to eat. It is a physical incapability.
I am broken. Got it. Thanks.
He walks into his office. Konerith, are you still sitting in his office, or
At the opportunity, Quinaerith probably would have made his way out to the chapel area and essentially undergone the intro at that point, just kind of sitting off in a corner by himself, staring down at the floor.
okay? You are sitting there. You're doing your prayers. You're not entirely sure what's going on, and you suddenly hear your name shouted. Um, and you hear a woman's voice be like, "Konerith," and Irina runs from across the room and hugs you. Um, as you're going, she's like, "I didn't realize you had gotten back to town."
Yes, we returned not very long ago.
Well, I'm so glad that you all brought me to Valaki.
I am glad
Um,
that you are glad.
well, I've been learning so much here about the history of Valaki, even some of the history of the church. I don't know if you met him, Vasily. Yes, you were at the. Okay, he's been very helpful. The father had introduced me to him. He's been showing me the different books and stuff, and for the history of the land, and but is the rest of them here, like Herbert and Onyx and Graves?
Yes, they'd be around here somewhere. I'm not entirely sure where they are at the moment. I just kind of stepped off to myself.
Well, it's good to see you, my friend. And she's going to get up, and you can see that she's kind of helping some of the other women that are staying there, kind of helping some of the kids get prepared for sleeping. As they're sitting there, Herbert, what are you kind of doing during all this thing? We kind of assume that you were kind of delayed a bit behind Kunerith because he kind of just listlessly walked away.
So Herbert's plan. I sent you a message on Discord about it.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, no, it's fine. He is going to find a private place to set up his ritual and try to channel Gon's energy and craft himself a familiar set of tools that he's been missing. So he's going to use a golden ring and some gold coins that he has to create a set of smith's tools.
Okay.
So
I love
like,
all of this that you sent me. So
yeah.
yeah.
So he's he's set on, he has an idea to build something, and he's been drawing diagrams. He has been drawing diagrams of like Mirabelle, so he's like wings, interesting flight mechanics, maybe I can figure out how that works, but make an approximation. But he's really more interested in what he can do for like himself and the party. So he is pretty much going to stay up all night crafting some items.
Hmm.
Uh,
So you will be exhausted the
Yeah.
next day.
Mhm.
Okay. So I just wanted to clarify. Now, if you do that, you don't gain any spell slots back, correct?
Yeah,
'Cause
you
you're
wouldn't
not.
get the benefit of a long rest because you're not resting. So
Okay. So I just want to clarify so we know for next session.
yeah,
Okay. So that being said, uh usually in most campaigns we just kind of accept that gold to silver to copper is just something that just kind of breaks apart and just magically changes between the two.
yeah.
Um in this instance though, if you were asking around trying to find copper,
I mean, I could
or
replace money in the coffers if they take collections. Like,
you would
that's a
find
problem.
something interesting
Oh,
if you were trying to do that. You would realize there's no silver anywhere. You only see gold and copper. And
oh.
there's no middle currency there.
Do I have the silver that I came with?
You would have the silver that you came with,
I,
but you realize as you like are trying to like exchange with like one of the altar boys, there's no silver whatsoever, and it's just kind of something you notice in the background that is odd because silver's like one of the most common denominations that you
like,
would normally see in Waterdeep.
like you're seriously going to give me 100 copper pieces for this one gold piece?
Um,
I mean,
the
I'll take it. I need it, but
the kid kind of shrugs. He's like, what else do you want me to do?
yep, I'll take it. I won't question it. I mean, has it always been this way? There's never any silver coins around.
Silver? No, there's just gold and copper. What are you talking about?
Have you never heard of silver? I mean, you
I
know
mean,
what
I
silver is,
know
right?
what silver is, but
Oh.
I mean, as a coin? That's weird.
All right.
Here's a relic.
I mean, they look like this. It's like a little pyramid when it's got the center cut out of it.
He just looks and he's like, whoa. And he's like, can I see that?
Sure. I'll need it back though.
And he's just kind of looking at it. Um, and you can tell he's not lying at all. Like, he's never seen a silver coin in his life.
Hmm.
And he's just like amazed that it's like when you see people that find foreign currency that they've never seen before, that's just like mind blown.
I mean, he might. Well, maybe there's coins like this, like the ones that I have that are printed like this. Because like the gold coins that I have are like kind of hourglass shaped with a golden dragon on one side and like
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a profile of Lariel Silverhand
Yes.
on the other side.
The coins that they would mostly have in the coffers would be circular, and they would have the facade of, or the face of Strahd von Zarovich stamped upon it.
Yeah, so I'm picking up these like copper coins and I'm just like, oh, okay. Just like
So
see his face on there.
one thing in my research for the Rise of the God King campaign, because I had a House of Currency that was one of the criminal organizations. Back when there was gold coins as the major form, there was actually a special bag that certain people would have, and it basically had a sandpaper type material on the inside, so that as the coins moved, it shaved gold off of it, so they could dip it
Oh.
out to melt down to make more gold coins. And I was like, that is like incredibly devious, and I love it because like it was such a slight amount that they wouldn't notice, but across the life of the bag, it would gather a ton of gold
Yeah,
that they'd be able to like get an extra coin every so often.
nice.
Yeah, people used
So
to do that. Like, you're talking about like a real historical example, or like what you theory crafted.
um I it was so long ago. I feel like it was a historical example. Um,
I mean, that would make sense. I just finished reading a book about money and the history of money and human civilization, and that came up a couple times. So yeah,
yeah.
to shave coins all the time.
Yeah, and it was just interesting that was that like the ways that they would counterfeit money back in the day. That I was doing it when I was like, how would they counterfeit money? Because nowadays, like we kind of know with like money laundering and things like that. But it was interesting to think of it from a medieval perspective and
Yeah,
how they counteracted it. Um,
yeah,
but
but
so
yeah. That's what I'm up to.
that being said, we are getting to the point of the evening that you guys are all winding down, aside from Herbert, who decided that he wants to pull an all-nighter um, for that. Is there anything else that the rest of you are doing before you go to sleep?
I don't think there's anything else Graves can learn at this time that he's thought of. So
I would
Yeah.
just spend the evening before going to bed praying to Akadi. Um, going. I know you saw it, but they was fucked up.
And that being said, that is where we're going to end tonight's session. Um,
fucked
was
up.
fucked
That's
up.
okay.
Hit the long rest button. I'm doing
yes. I do need Konareth, can you roll me a d6 really quick? In Tailspire. Okay, you gained 6 luck points for doing our recap for the last session. We thank everyone for joining. We're going to be returning to our party as they are preparing for some perhaps morning shopping or kind of reevaluating what exactly they're going to do in Valaki, and then also their lunch with Baron Valakovich, who is now interested in the party. Thank you so much for joining. We hope that you have a great evening, and again, for the love of crits, like and subscribe.